Well, good morning. It's Tuesday the 25th of April. It's just 10:05. Mad ducks. I've just come over to Jubilee Pools today. I've brought somebody over with me, a guest. We're having a spot of pleasure fishing today with a chap that I know from Castle Angling Association, where I go on the matches, called Dave White, a very good angler. And I brought him over as a guest. He's going to have a day on the pole at the moment over here, and I got a waggler set up and I'm having a pleasure fishing day on the waggler today. But it's absolutely gorgeous. Frost last night went down to -1, as you all know, but the sun's come out, the frost burnt off. We've just sort of got set up, and it's really quite warm now. I could almost take this jumper off, to be honest. Anyway, a simple day for me today. I've got a bit of ground bait. I'm going to put a couple of balls of ground bait in. I've got some casters, I've got some maggots, I've got some pellets if I need to go down the pellet route a bit later, but I don't think I will. And I've got a bit of hemp and a few worms, and that's really about it, to be honest. So I'm just waiting for Dave to get set up, because he hasn't been here before. And once he's got set up, we're going to make a start and see how we get on. I came over last week and people were catching some bream and some silvers last week, and that's what we're really after today, or any bonus tench, because there are a few tench in here, so we may well get a bonus tench. But that's what we're fishing for today, so we'll see how we get on and see what we can catch. But yes, it's absolutely gorgeous now. So I'm just going to get something to eat, give Dave about another 10 minutes, and then we'll make a start. My outfit today is a little 11-foot float rod, 3000 class reel loaded with 3-pound line. I've got a 2-pound hook length on here, down to a size 20 I'm starting off with. And I've just got 4 small shot spread up from the hook, so I'll get a nice slow fall in the water. At the moment, I'm fishing down a ledge, and I reckon it's about 7 foot deep where I am at the moment, 7 to 8 foot. And the float is just a 1.5 gram waggler. I'm hoping to bring the fish up, all of the silverfish up in the water, and catch most fish on the drop. So I expect to be shallowing up through the day. But I'm starting off at the bottom. There's a ledge about 2 rod lengths out. I'm going to start down there. I'm also going to feed one of these inside lines just off these bushes, where I think there might be a tench or 2 patrol off of those, and see if I can catch a tench a little bit later on. I'm going to start off with just 2 balls of ground bait. In here there's just some fish meal ground bait and some dark ground bait mixed together. I've got some dead reds in here, some casters, some hemp and a few live pinkies. And I'll start off with 2 balls of that, and then I'll plan to catapult casters over the top of that. And then fish whatever I need to on the hook to get a bite, basically. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, enough waffling, let's get fishing. I've got a nice shadow in front of me here, so I can see where I need to put the float to be down the ledge. As I said, a little bit later on, I hope to bring and I've also lined it up with a tree on the other side, because as the sun moves around, the shadow will move. And couple of balls of ground bait packed with feed around the float, hopefully. We'll start with that, we can always put a bit more in later. Start off with a couple of pinkies. There we are, our first fish. That'll do. Lift bite then. Nice. Beautiful little rod this is. It's 11 foot. It's ever so soft action. It's just absolutely perfect for this sort of thing. Roach and small skimmers. There we are. That's a lovely roach. Nice and chunky. Oh, he's taken that well down. Lovely fish. I've had these a little bit too long, to be honest, but I'm picking out the floaters and fishing the floaters on the hook, so I've got a really nice slow fall with them. But the bites I'm getting at the moment are, I would estimate I'm probably getting near to the bottom, probably about a foot off the bottom, I should think, before I'm actually getting a bite. Oh. But as I said, dependent upon how I feed will determine whether the fish stay on the bottom or whether they come up. But as I'm only really trying to catch the roach and the small skimmers, I really want to try and bring the fish up shortly. So I'll feed a little lighter, but a little more often to do that. There's a little bit of tow from wind from left to right, so I'm throwing the casters in just, oh, there's a bite there, throwing the casters in just to the left of the float here. It's only a small amount of tow, it's not enough to even be pushing the float over. Oh, this one's probably about 6, Dave, 6 ounces. It's a skimmer. Oh, it might be perhaps a little bit bigger, 8. There we are. I was burying the caster, but I'm just going to try hooking it like a maggot, see if it makes any difference. I know something. I wish I hadn't left my sunglasses behind today. But we're out, the sun's shining, and we're catching fish. Oh, there's a dib on the float then. Something's thinking about it. Oh. Oh, big cluster of bubbles, couple of big clusters of bubbles coming out round by the float. Oh, it's a grebe. Fooled me, thought it was tench bubbles for a minute. I'll just put the camera back on a moment. Just had a nice chunky skimmer. Best part, probably 3/4 pound. Might be sat on an expensive box and surrounded by whatever, but to be honest, could have just been sat on here in my plastic box today. It's perfect pleasure fishing, to be honest. Well, it is for me. Dave's a very serious match angler. Talking too much. And I believe he fished for Dorking a few years back. So he's fished at a very high level, and so he'll be taking it very, very seriously. I have managed to beat him once or twice over on the club matches, which has made me feel rather good, as you could imagine, but generally, no, he's usually always up there. I need to concentrate a little bit, because I keep seeing Dave catch the odd slab, and I turn around to have a look because I can hear it splashing, and that's usually when I look back and my float's gone. So I need to concentrate more on my own fishing. But I am only pleasure fishing, so. We've not got a bet on today or anything. I always enjoy bringing other people out. I've done it several times with different people in the past that have contacted me and that. And it's nice to bring people out to different places. As I said, Dave's never fished here before. Don't think he'd heard of it before. So he's fished over the back at Meadowlands there, but he's not been here. So it's nice. And when people are catching fish, it's even better. Not bad. Right, I've just been for a chat with Dave a minute. He's having a phenomenal day. He's really enjoying himself. It's a long time since he's had some fishing as good as this, I think. And he can't believe how wonderful it is, and never having been here before. He's still fishing the pole, and I should imagine he's probably about 11 metres. So he's fishing with a bit more finesse than I am, and hence catching a lot more fish, but I'm just pleasure fishing and enjoying myself, to be honest, because it's what I do best. I put a ball of ground bait in a little while ago just before I went to talk to him, and left that to settle. I'm still feeding casters, but I've gone over to red maggots now. They started getting a bit finicky on the caster. It was going all right to start off with, but then I was just getting little very finicky bites, and I've gone over to the red maggot and it's actually been better. Wind's picked right up though, it's coming right in. It was only supposed to be about 4 or 5 mile an hour today. But I've had a steady run of fish. I had a really good run of roach, and for me, I'd rather catch the roach than I would the skimmers, whereas Dave would probably rather be catching the skimmers than the big bream. There's a pigeon nesting in the tree just to the side of me as well. It keeps coming back with material and taking them in. It's building a nest there. Oh, damn, got off. But it's made quite a nice change to come out and not having to have thermals and coats and big woolly hats and every layer of cold weather clothing I own, like I have done just of late. Whoa. Oh. Here's a better fish at long last. Dave had a lovely tench earlier of a couple of pounds. I've still been feeding that inside swim. I'm going to try there a little bit later before I go, but oh. I'm only on a 2 pound hook length, or 0.10 I think it is in new money, so I better take it a little bit steady, whatever it is. I think it's just a good bream, or skimmer should I say, but it's got it wrapped round it, that's why. Thought it was tench for a moment or two. Oh, best fish of the day. There we are, safely unhooked. That'll put a couple of pound in the net, won't it? I'll stick with the red maggots because I do seem to be getting, as I said, the better stamp of fish. But that's the first decent bream I've had. Whereas Dave's had several, but as I said, he's fishing a lot further out than I am. And he's a lot better angler. Oops. Yeah, the wind picked up earlier, so I stopped throwing by hand and I picked the catapult up just so I could tighten it up a little bit. Try and keep the feeding a bit more accurate. It's funny how the old bream, like dead reds, you wouldn't think they'd be bothered with dead maggots, would you? They'd prefer something live. Or I've got some worms with me. I'm going to switch over to a worm a little bit later on as well. I came up in the water earlier, I shallowed up when I was fishing the caster because I was feeding very little and often, and the fish came up, and so I shallowed up the float, but all I was catching was roach about that size. So I've gone back down now and I'm too much talking, fishing on the bottom again, because I seem to be, that's where the skimmers and that seem to be preferring today. Right, better give the wife a ring, make sure she's okay. Oh, it's another good fish. They're the sort I needed. Oh, that one's rough. He's been spawning. Oh yeah, how are you? Oh, I'm good, thank you. I've just started catching. It's gone well. We've been catching from the off, but I've just had a couple of lumps. Dave's been doing really well. He's caught some big fish right from the off. He's had a tench as well and that, but he's had a bite of chuck, so he's absolutely in heaven. He's loving it. This is, yeah, it is. And he's already said to me, oh, would you bring me back here one day? So yeah, it's nice because when you bring people out, you want them to catch, don't you? Anyway, it's good because it's enabled me to have a look about, because my next trip over here will be for carp fishing. I'll be over carp fishing, so there's method in my madness. Got to bring somebody out. They're enjoying themselves. I'm enjoying myself, but it's given me a chance to sort of assess how the carp fishing is, because it's a very deep venue this is, and the carp tend to wake up a little bit slowly, you might say. I came over last week and there was a load of them all down in the corner. I wasn't fishing, I was just on a reconnaissance trip, and they were all down in the corner and they were just sunning themselves. That's all they was doing. It's another better fish. Yeah, that's all they were doing, was sunning themselves down there. and you know, I walk around and talk to people and they'd not had a bite all day and that. I expect later in the evening the fish would have gone down and people would have probably caught. But it's often the way, those first few warm periods that you get. Oh, another good fish, look. This is the sort that we want. A little too much line out there. Don't soak me. Come here, you little bugger. It's that warm, I had to wet my ground bait back up because it had dried out again. Oh, here's another one. Oh, that's a shame. It's better. Hello there. Not so bad, thank you. Having a lovely day, actually. It's been beautiful in this sunshine. Yeah, I've had just a few, just of late. Probably about 3 or 4 of these now. It was mainly smaller skimmers and roach before that, but I've just started getting a few of these now. Yeah. Yeah, the grebe. Yeah. Oh, you can't complain when you're getting fish like that, can you?
No, bloody lovely that is. Made my day, that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, well done. Lovely.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's a good couple of pound of anybody's money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you getting them on? Maggot?
Red maggots at the moment. Yeah, I started off on castor, but oh.
You're on low line?
You
can't tell if you got the line.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I started off on castor and then went over to red maggots, but yeah, I'm only on a 2 pound hook length, like, but, well, 0.40, no, 0.10 these days, isn't it? No, I'll still work in pounds, I'm afraid. But yeah, my friend next door, he's done even better. He's had a real good day today.
Yeah.
It's his first trip here, so I'm quite pleased. It's always nice when you bring people out and they catch, isn't it?
He's on the pole, isn't
he? Yeah, yeah.
Especially when he turns around, he's kicking your ass, it'll be even better, won't it?
I've got my excuse ready. I shall just say I gave him a choice of the best peg.
Yeah. I'll give you that one because I knew you were catch.
It'd only be something like that, yeah. What I've got is probably the equivalent of about 4 number 10s down the line, and the rest is round the float. But oh, yeah, another one. Yeah.
Multitask there, can't hold it on. It'll. And the good is it.
It is, yes, or it feels it. Unless it's foul hook, but it's feels a good one again.
Yeah, that lad up there said he's been foul looking a lot.
Yeah.
Not the size you're getting though. No.
I've only just started getting there. As I said, I've probably had about 3 or 4 before you come.
Don't move into it a bit later anyway.
Yeah.
Very rare you catch them straight away.
Yeah. I'm just there's a sort of ledge about where I'm just down the other side as the ledge.
Down the shelf.
Yeah, down that shelf there. Not as big as the last one, but it's not bad.
Still nice, though.
Yeah.
Still a couple of pound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pound and a bit.
Yeah. It's nice. But it's a gorgeous day. You know, they're some of these are quite rough. You know, they're obviously either spawned or getting ready. Yeah, or getting ready to.
But they normally spawn there in the middle of April anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
March, isn't it, March? No, about 10th of April, 12th of April, around that time. I know these things. It's one of your areas,
Yeah. Yeah, it's no, wherever I've sort of fished in the past, it's always been around the time that you've said, about middle of April. Depends upon the venue and how cold the water is or how cold the spring is, yeah. But it's normally about then. I used to fish at Hollowell Reservoir a lot a few years back. And I used to fish there because it had big bream and that's what I was interested in. I used to fish for the big, yeah, and it was always the same. You could guarantee that what they call Gilsborough Bay there, all along by Gilsborough Bay, they'd shoal up and start spawning about this time of year. Sorry, it's the one boring camera angle. The sun's in the wrong place to put the camera the other side and there's no room to put it anywhere else. Anyway, I had a really good run of nice bream and skimmers from ranging from £1 to about £3. I think I had about 8 of them, something like that. A couple of smaller fish. So I topped the swim back up while I just went round to see how Dave was doing. Make sure he still enjoyed himself. And I'm just about to start again. But the change over from casters to dead reds certainly worked. I'm going to try a little worm shortly, or part of a worm. But while I'm catching on the dead reds, I'll stick with it for a bit longer. I'm going to make this the last sort of part of the film as well, although I'll probably be stopping a lot longer, but we'll catch a few fish just to end on. But it's been a really enjoyable day. I mean, it's as still as a mill pond, as they say now. It's absolutely lovely. Lots of wildlife. I said pigeon nesting there. I've seen another little bird nesting. Oh. This run of better fish has been lovely. Well, you've had a strange thing. I've had there's been a couple of fish that have actually been foul hooked. So I'm taking it, or it's had its wrap round them, because I should imagine it's because there's so many in the peg. Probably. But this one is fair and square in the mouth. Here we are. If we can hang on to this one, I'm going to call this the last fish. Looks to be a reasonable one. As I said, I'll carry on fishing for a little while, but we'll try and end on a fish just in case I don't get any more. Not the biggest, but it will do. Right, well I hope you all enjoyed that. Once again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, all the best with your angling.